Baba Jamal anya ewini nchi die nkrofo susu ye de bi kan ye enra ye twetwe nkomo ha no na Baba Jamal ni kase wohwe one of the constituency here the most peaceful constituency the Ayawaso East Nima have been characterized with some violence. Yes, nkrofo ewo Nima violent people near the other. Enti na nkrofo so say bia gidigidi bi besi ho ba enura mu ko to aban boko ama bibia ekosinya pinchen bia ankoso ho Baba Jamal etumi ewini sa election no was it expected because no say a hono MDC for stronghold was that the expectation and also idea baako nkrofo bebe na ebisa Kennedy Donko ababe cancer ewa ha Ken morning
good morning dache
na ahonde wo hode
dache Yakopon adom eja odi yenkwa ache ntebeka se nyame afamu de ende odi adom ye na aka ni aka dache wa woni me betena se di a ebia meka watiefo ene Ghana fontina ya betena efro no ma ansana makase me party di muntina mete hanom tame fa kwan na me kwan we so me nchia amen watiefo na me nchia eye the new patriotic party as usual me chia the national executives and so far as me chia the Banna constituency executives ache the last time I can assembly say the people of Banna Kabrono ye program be and this is the first time the homecoming program no in the fourth and the exactly what man people program shall say ti Yakopon ya aduma
that will be on the 4th of April next month
yes and it no na yeguso kai man for say we ya crew nchi ebi ofi de hona ofi nti mesre say obi bia oye bandani ofri Banna Kabro no de ebesew say emre no so a ye nyina meboa say de be ya be pija ye crew no because ya nkan ho ambom a anya say de mpanyifo kan say wosom eno ani nipa enti de kuso sene so obi amra na yentimi and lift it up the face of Banna Kabro no that's nyanko osha in the 4th March MPP ya share jumadie bi asede dada and then the 4th day abra started a new registration no membership registration no day 4 nti ye besere say yes ya bie ya promote hono obi bia oye MPP ni na wo be bia make sure so ba ko twere odin ewo polling station and it is not only about the MPP it's about any well-meaning Ghanaian bia opese ye gitumi every NDC fonsem because so far so good o share the omaye na so far the course nyina de that is very clear say omo your friends say kutokwa no mo de yikura de kura ashim and everything the way they are managing the economy kura chere say masa say ya nhwe ansesa this party here there's no way they can find a lasting solutions to our country's problem that I think say endra election so ewo Ayawaso East said there was a kind you know and I think that this last year this year by elections I think say last year can be one of the year because a lot of by elections in this country and this year I think Baba Nyama the national arbitrum and in totality because say election no so peacefully because at the end of the day I think it's security and say Mambaso neighbor East Abaso collections are being conducted managed by these these two key stakeholders. And then you're born so omutimi issue election man call so I mean peacefully. Those say Bimo argue say oh checking Nima a community be violence at our cost of honor and therefore peaceful cause because of Ramadan and any other year. But that I mean that is their personal opinion of which maybe probably I will not dispute that fact, but that is their personal opinion. But in general, because election a course come up. But that thing prior to the election, it was quite unfortunate say yeah, to me and she and discuss something of that sort. Before election, even the internal election of course within the NDC government, it tells you say the race setting agenda now NDC for kind of they have a different ways to reset the agenda of this country. Why am I saying so? Dachi say okay, and I say to me when he edi actually ni a course so sa the friend is saying internal election before the election way now. You could clearly see say the election was spread with money. Since you started this Fourth Republic, I can tell you without any equivocation, say this was a year who said a month for a sika editor vote every a month for honor.
Because will be scarcity at top voter.
That's it.
How will you explain?
That's it. Say when it actually you know who you say who you so. She say election back what actually you kwakoto. Internal. Na yakofa a whole company high sense. Abe see your friend saying I also is on. And we are delegating Quadia Udru Kwajiba Konako. Aside that, a whole provisions in a PWC honor. Every delegate enyabi. To the extent say I was so shocked. Say Kusiani Makunya said Chebikra oh.
But if
you ask yourself
if you want to use that as a case study,
yeah,
just past MPP presidential election, we saw people who were even fighting at the Western North. Say, Brian almost 700 Ghana cedis, Baumia almost 500 Ghana cedis, Japan almost 500 Ghana cedis. To the extent say almost Kobene Japan and your friends saying. Educhum, Omodi and the Musicano, Amma, and the other. If you also had the Mobi or be this kind of Jan in the other. And so when it comes to vote buying, the two parties are guilty.
That's it. I don't think so. What me I used to near a see during the internal elections, no 2-way. No.
Why not?
The reason is you can see a clear distinction. You see, in every election.
Even if it is one seat, it is vote by.
In every election, say about your friend say internal elections now, delegate elections now. We have certain, I mean, areas you share to abano, delegates in aba, ebi share to abano. And when that happened, what I say, Obia won krasi, and these people have to move. What I say, so more take transportation. If you krasi no motion. A particular committee to have the election.
Who is supposed to pay for their
transportation? Now, that's it. Say, Obi, ebe to Abama, and Ababa to Aba. No, Froka say, oh, Aba de me and qualify me to be. What do I say? Nansu mi nika iska, me de beda, me de beba. And into the only thing is, so bit my boya. And no, a basaya always delegates, you know, coming together to think about that. No matter solicitation, most of boy transportation. That was what happened. And you know, delegates no any candidates in no. It's just something that we all know. It drew a main election. I say members of parliament. It means sponsor transport, a free buses, a free Accra to northern region, to eastern region, to other part of the country. It's because they just want to assist them.
Do you
only the miss in the court.
Do you recall John Dramani Mahama? 8 year 40 cities for people as TNT. That time, about parliament here, I said Mahama was buying vote, was paying people to buy their votes. And he found a Ghana ha obi 2.0 cover 700 Ghana cedis.
Oh, that's it. That's sabi. Also, boa, ne class with a better chromo. Huh? It will be on. Ya iti nkura kese mu no.
Can
we
we
always
can we
we
can
always
we just
picture it
wait,
from this
can
perspective.
we just agree?
Ena that chamber.
Can we agree?
Wait.
Can
That
we
is
all,
why it's very obvious.
Wait, can we all agree that across the political divide, all of you, Munyana, you are guilty of this vote buying, because even the past elections, 2024 elections, we are Ashanti region, or more report or more the buy on reasons why they lost was the fact that or more two parliamentary election and for the fridge in TVs near the Adeko Fie, and more on your motitif. First, so we are delegates now. Yeah, we are Kokotua Banama Bapawa, who crowd on your TV, no fridge near the Adene, then why should we go vote for you? It's all count to the encroachment to me and Mabon, Tiamma, to vote. If you look at the Ashanti region reporter, by so all of you, you are guilty of sin.
After their work, what do I say? At times, no elections happen. Obiawo, we find a way to win the election, and then it was it. But let's make it categorical. Now we are talking about if anything, I also is a fear about needy. Now in a Ashanti regional cano, me am it's a mini source for that at the moment. Any source. But probably you have your source.
It is Ashanti
but
regional
the
report.
issue is
it is an official report.
The issue is who compare a transportation internal election bua man from one to Abanibi. And I'm telling you, say, if you just oppose that one with the happen, your friends are so easy now, then we will get the whole argument wrong. To the extent, say, because a case can amount for a solicitor, one a case a case. And almost because okay, then if I'm case can I am case. But I was so easy no bizarre say television, say be the froka. You have a provisions, you have a so, and no, you can clearly state or you can clearly conclude by saying, say, yes, I didn't know what the man, no, that day for election, a child say, Gina Kotumami. But that's it, Uni. A woman say, your friend is a Honorable Baba Jama is now the, MP elect, of which you know, congratulate no. Yes, that's it, no. Basically, and you know, say, young TV are in it. Because ever since that city was created, always be a event and this in a arena. But say you share the economic, issues are and this for the so far. Then I expecting say if you come the party should have gotten more than 80%. Because so
gotten more than
80%. Yes. Because so so far, the NDC4 say they have changed the fortune of this country. Yeah, back Ghana Hanma. And to extend say the president, Nani Yoka said now the country is back. And it was very obvious, so sure they are always they talk about inflation rate, right? They talk about exchange rate. And if they are able to argue from this angle, BBI, okay, then that's it. I think Kechra will say at the end of the day, I said, boom,
but if your argument is also anything to go by, the MPP also made the argument that it is not in a step right direction. So one would have also expected that at least vote say you maintain what you had in 2024, but in this case you dropped.
That's it. Then I also make a say, about elections so party for some bufua. If a moment said Niakos on Enya, they'll decide to go and vote at all.
So
what I said,
in this case,
even Crampono,
this case, is it the NDC who decided not to go and vote at all, or the MPP decided not to go and vote at all? Because now, if you look at 2024 general elections, the NDC MP are not on the baby call the 22,139, which is about 70.85%.
Yeah.
The MPP enya 9,110, representing 29.5%.
Yeah.
This ended elections. Just this ended elections. You who say more drop sharply, very very sharply. Baba Jamala Ochi Emmanuel, I think he was able to do like 10,884. Whilst Baba Ali did 4,009. 4,009. From 10,000 to 4,009. From 9,000. So about Nipa Bear fans about 3,000 and Twaba. Baba Jama from 22,000 to 10,000. Nipa almost about about 12,000. Yes, and Antwaba.
Yeah.
People say normally by election are characterized with low turnout. Yeah. Until when it become low turnout, these figures are,
That yes, it's true. Say by election be I experiencing low turnout. But this is the worst. Not even up to 40%. Just 34% or so. Neko at Otoaba no. And the chira will say, a nipano, and don't forget that Mr. Timmy, yeah, Kasamakacha will say, Sa constituency honum, a known NDC constituency. So what I say, and no, there's no way MPB to penetrate it so easily like that.
You cannot.
Yes, analysis now, man.
Miracles can be viewed. It will be very difficult for you to overturn that seat.
Exactly.
However, it is also possible that you can make some inroads and maximize your vote in that constituency. People will make an analysis and tell you, say, the NDC inroads are making in the MPP strongholds. It is always appreciating rather than comparing that to yours.
That's it. Only. The way you analogy in Biao, or getting it wrong.
Why so?
Only. Say, Ochakia, you're 23%, right? Which clearly tells you, say, you're decreasing by how many percent? Like 6%. Yes. Last election, 2024 election, and this is the same seat, Omunya 71%. Yes. When you try to. Now, Omunya 63%. Uti Frimwa, they have lost like almost 7%. So, it tells you clearly, say, yes, NDC, no, Oma depreciated a chain, yeah, boy, homo de a chain, Omo. So, very clear. Not I say. Because at the end of the day, no, yes, totally. Turnout no very low. But what check percent on Munya last year, any this year, percent on Munyana. And so at more HIA MPP for there.
That is right.
Perfect. So in that angle, no, until conclude by says MPP amount of money. But the best what I say, that's it.
No, but when Obika say MPP amount of money. If that argument is coming from the point, say, oh, the economy, the economy is not on its rightful time, one would have expected, say, from 9,000 something, or at least you'll be able to keep that number, right? Or even appreciate the number. In as much as I agree, say, on the day I election,
low turnout,
a working day,
and at the same
people
time,
who live in that constituency, most of them
are
go
fasting
to
and other
work.
aspects.
Until you will not come and vote, especially when there is a constituency that idea. Oh, how the NDC we are doing one baby man took from baby ni high MPP man took from baby ni that kind of thing, and that notion is so high NDC MPP me ko tukura still no on we need to me ha me nkra me come edwom na me ko to medwuma bi na me nyame. So those things will come into play. I recall say Info Analytics came with that thing that the day I hear which is on Tuesday. Now after a working day and your holiday, it's an election day. People go to their work regardless of their AC. They know say and definitely MPP will not win that seat. And so many people will not tend to come and vote. But one would have expected that now MPP muna more position. Is there money until Ebianka you use the whole strength into the constituency to shoot people to come and vote for you. But
that's it. One Kasawa Kasmasa, you are one of the same question.
That may not be but one would have expected.
Yeah, I understand. Yes, and they're very obvious. But that's in totality, no.
Because my registration
the performance share the performance of NPP. Now share the performance of NDC. It can tell you say NDC lose the next coming election. Now, so who study the elections in Ghana? Research, I'm who say if said we are incumbent, what's your konyaso? Now vote no appreciate here, then you are good to go. But say when it depreciate, then you have a problem. So I just say, and clearly, an election I have in will say NDC is having a problem for the next coming election. To the sense, say, who compare the two elections, two parties now, or more, first, second now. You can clearly see, say, yes, indeed, low turnout, one of the big factor. But at the end of the day, it tells you, say, NDC Vahon is what by 8%. Who compare that one with the previous election? NPP say, oh, check here. Yes, Yahon is what, but another is by just 6%. So at the end of the day, say, you can say a draw conclusion now. Uben will say, yes, oh, even though NPP ain't me, of which we are all aware, said that was the kind, you know. But your money bono a year chain, a NDC for the, you know. But, man, that's it. The person be, I may say, I don't know how Honorable Bajama is going to work with the majority in Parliament. I don't know if maybe probably someone should advise him maybe on joining the minority to be better than joining the majority. Nanachi Obia ye to aba ewo constituency na otima mofo esi wona be di manim na a whole majority in Parliament. I be one can say there is no way I won't be against say my kind now over oba ni on be adwuma. To the sense I'm catch a party is a party no and train it in the to akonya. Say and train it to akonya. Nachi at the end of the day, not this person abeme of Parliament. Do you think say obetimini majority adwuma of Parliament? So what I say. So maybe who say yeah, even though your friend is saying the constituency for what to but at the end of the day, no, how he's going to work with the people there will be a very big problem for, I mean, on one casa political career.
Roger.
That's it.
Morning.
Good morning. Okay. And sorry, and that's my late.
I saw the debut late. Then yeah, I'm sorry, my late BI.
Previously, my own say I'm saying it ever. And then if you go there,
no, the one you late in Pumia, can't late, then no one you late.
Yeah,
make us but I'm not late.
That's it. I'm in fact, when you so any NTR, His Excellency,
I know Chadi
John Dramani Mahama, I mean, Chiana Bedriche, Professor Nana Opoku Ajima. Now, I mean, Chia a party in Penifoni now, and she has to and command the people of Ayawasu East. Say, on Sunday, Nord, no. Eddie Amayan say NDC aban enkoswa ensun oman no na ensanso sun the people of Ayawasu East. Na me san congratulate honorable Baba Jaman Domnani as His Excellency Baba Jamal. Na me chiasa no me fama no see without appreciating the strategic tactician. How MPP for ni na nightmare. Ni din adodo na dinim no na General Mosquito ba ni din ankasa na honorable Johnson Asiedu Inketia. Na me chiasa no obia ewo fia ofim na bibia ye wo no wo. Memfa inchia soronko emfama Ashaman constituency executives and the grassroots, the various branches michia omuni na soronko. In fact, Ashama ye one solid team. Na michia sano na mabo mo abaso ewe dwumaden a mo abo na the way consistently omode omo support ama aban no nti no kudos to Ashama for na dachi me ba na metie eye nua otiri nsabenkum so eye MPP for Jandam secretary na ni kasabi entoto akwemu ena ni statement bi won mo a me hu say it does not depict the real picture of what is happening.
Do you know can and the picture the real picture?
One say, or say one, Yahon the air coffin, your friend is saying, constituency, Iowa, so it is not true.
Why is it so? Why is it
Osha
not true?
election, no, the surrounding circumstance now, by election, no, no one will say all these things, no, aggravating factor, resulting in the low turnout. Mechanics are then I'm a patch. Ubejia to say historically, emphatic say turnout in all the elections we have had in this country, by elections, turnout low, relatively low. One of the highest that has been recorded in the country, Apetia. And the demographic characteristics, very different. Very, very different. Now, you can say Apetia demographic characteristics, no, different. A mining environment with farming and other activities. Now, mining with farming and other activities, no. Nkɔfoɔ a ɛwɔ hɔ no ebetumi asɔre ntɛm akɔyɛ adwuma aba in their farm asan so aba vote nti no hɔ nom dynamics no different. Now yɛba Ayawa so a me nua ɔte me ha bɛgye atom sɛ a highly cosmopolitan area. Now a highly cosmopolitan area no amanfra for ɛna ɛwɔ hɔ. Aside that, the major economic activity no who say the place no a market area. Akoye market area no ebano on the religious grounds is highly dominated and populated with Muslims. And even the percentage are Christians no. Omuni na also the period that omuni na fasting. All these dynamics will play out because obi here fasting now, it is very difficult for the persons to step out to go and vote. Christians ne fasting, Muslims no fasting. On the other hand, environment, a lot of people would have to go to work and also go to the market to sell, having in mind, say, a bobe tree and therefore I will come and vote. Into Usha and now observe the Eina turnout now. Bebrina by after 3 o'clock. And apparently na voting here very slow. Though. Tell me about 4, about 5, nothing for April or Muhuba. Because you have a working class or Moba Ababere Abeto Aban. Until that is what is supposed to happen. Looking at technological innovations near ideas is here, you have to clock in, you have to clock out. On person obey ordinary ejuma beto on the line going into an election. Into all this play out are resulting in the low voter turnout now. Into as a matter of fact, the number now ever from as a result of one, the nature, the demographics, the nature of the environment, the season we were in, and stuff. And aside that, election was on a working day. On a working day, a different, having different dynamics. What also is not different from the already by elections we've had. The trend continues. If there is anything, maybe there could be recommendations going forward. All by elections should be held on weekends. If those recommendations are made,
and you think that it is because of those regions no one manning tina from 22,000 to about 10,000.
No, yes, highly, because all those things impact.
But when you look at MPP that did 9,000 in 2024 and doing 4,000. They've lost just about 3,000 votes. You did 22,000, and you have lost almost about 12,000.
And
you say it is so.
And I've just made it clear to you that the voter pattern when it comes to by-election, the zeal is not there. It's natural. Aside that, would you believe that there will be some people in Ayawaso who don't know that they are even having a by-election? Can you be aware? As it stands now, there are people in Accra who don't know that even there is an election going on. And there are people in Ghana who don't even know. So all these things play out. It is a reality. The outcome was as a result of the low turnout. And the low turnout has all these indicating factors affecting it. But you could realize that some people were prevented because they came after 5. And that is what the law says. After 5, you can't. And people will close from work. For instance, if someone closed, said, I will leave the office by 4, and had estimated that within 30 minutes, and then on his way, there was traffic or an unforeseen circumstance, prevented a person from arriving on time, that person cannot come and vote. And that is the order of the day. And then the reality now, I would say I appreciate it. Say a main election and the whole country is in that mood. But it is difficult to bring a whole constituency into an election mode. It doesn't work that way. And you should know that on a normal election.
But who can see as Akotia don't they were able to turn out?
And I make us say Akotia demographics now. The demographics and the nature of the environment and how the election went about now. What did I say?
Okay.
And until the turnout no different from what we are seeing, because I don't know, it's like a vary from the normal norm of by-elections in Ghana. Uche trend now, I don't know outliner from trend now you have it in the country. As a matter of fact, and I say on authority, say no matter what it is, there is no way, no single way Obeka say this election is a defeat to the NDC. No, it is not. He can make his claim, he can amuse himself. But let's not forget, say, the people of Ayawaso East voted no based on party affiliation, but they voted based on governance and policy. Why do I say this? Oshe Ayawaso, they are highly characterized by an environment. It's highly characterized by an environment of people who have gone beyond certain class. When I say class, say they are enlightened, or we are educated. Their own school crown at least on the left, right, center, back. What you say? And to know with such people, to me, enfa propaganda, enswe omo, enfa meyede, enfa embeye politics. Aside that, Oshe a member of His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama, attach you be life. Or what he will attest to the fact say a member a ye boo this time around are affecting a life positively. Onika intia into no ye kaka ho asema ni fuel ana fuela obeto a otumi nka se fuel so ente ye otumi entena ha enka se ebru ana omoto no 1400 MPP time sisi a ebru 500 cedis ontumi nka se angwa na eye 1400 sisi a ebru 600 cedis ontumi enka se mo ana omoto no 900 cedis a sisi a ye ton 350 ni 400 no ontumi nka se on fairly impact ni bi ontumi nka se iron rod and 9700 sisi a 6500 ontumi nka.
Okay.
And all these macroeconomic indicators no enya bibia in economics your friend said trickle down effect. A trickle down to the life of the people. And the people of Ayawaso attest to that fact. Because a major market area.
Thank you. My memory also that yemfa the sooner.
Yeah, that's it.
President John Dramani Mahama deliver the State of the Nation's address. Meaning say unyadaji tie bi hwe bi. What is your initial comments on the State of the Nation address or delivered by the president?
Yeah, that's it. Mami Sancho na me mama down free akwaba. Na me santu no fuse me sana de bia omrantem. So de bia benya kwan na etimi as so asem ni nyina mu akra. Yes, sir. Elitana yenya emre bebre. Badachi. You see, Mesra na wa memre akra because so na no. Me take no 3 main angle. The first one, you share the economic aspect of it. Near share the agri sector, and then the banner my way with education because education won't happen. But that you see, I also is as man our cano. We are making our claims, our argument based on at the end of the day the total valid vote cast. And I yes so Eddie make it conclusion. Say ABA nipa ntiba nkoto aba. He dachi adia e discourage man for say omo nkoto aba eye say omo say aba na otiso no wodi ne hwamo. That's how it is. Anything you say honum eye mo stronghold. Na say enkrofo ankoto aba. Then clearly it tells you say the people are disappointed in your government. Well, a simple ABCD. You don't need any logical reasoning to understand this one. Now, so I say my performance, then basically, I mean, just a small quantity analysis. Huh? What check here? My money is what by 8%. Into 8%, and I NPP for this way 6%. So clearly, it tells you say at the end of the day, NDC for my body money cut down. NPP for. But Dachi, a year last week, I think the president Eko Ridi Sona, and basically it is constitutional mandated. So automatically, no matter what, either president or poll on poll, a sobejino ekasa. Sankenya Sapa the Dachi Meka say, dear president, number kind actually we are saying and I'm gonna phone you now. A just an empty statement that was filled with just an ink. Just like that. Because at the end of the day, in some or it doesn't reflect the true, state of this country. So, Mr. Kayano, let me start from the economic aspect. Yes, indeed, there is no doubt about it. Sir, inflation is so abafom. Inflation has moved from double digit to single digit. Ayampa, exchange rate, so it's around 11 cedi. Ayampa, no problem. But that inflation, it is not even the time of NDC Nkwana Yaba single digit. MPP first year, the same thing, we came to a single digit. But all that claims now is centered on what we call macroeconomics. But macroeconomics on that, the question is, so inflation, the figures, Abba say single digit. Does it mean that automatically reflecting in the lives of the people? Inflation be the other. Dachi. Me sorano pa. Nasa me ko foka. Is
the inflation not are we not seeing the inflation in our lives? Are we not seeing?
That's you can see and that tell me a single thing. The same
you understand how inflation work because we have been in this country. About me go general store say o to emo kotoko. Obeto emo kotoko 2 cedi. O down 2 minutes say ba o sabeto the same emo kotoko you say akosoro. Say 4 cedi.
Oh, don't be moved by the propaganda of the NDC. No, but say we are not but was this? You see, don't be moved by these people. Oh, that is it wasn't true. It's not true. It wasn't true, and it's not true. Hey. So, and don't move by them. That is inflation. The air goes through. But you do not say do we end this time? It goes to a point in history of this country. Inflation goes to over more than 120% in this country, and the NDC. And you know, what can I say? But at the end of the day, no, the person also say, yes, inflation must see a swat about single digit. I'll be happy at that MPP, no. Yeah, a so effect in our lives. There are basic things, and Kabaka say ABR, as like a sober buffer. That's electricity. Common electricity you use. So far, who wait to come one no say inflation ba from bizan say so ati o and I say e price na den enko soro bibia bo e koso o mani more den o mo moto ade okum ye nto. But when you talk about anything, they are talking about inflation. They are just macroeconomic, figures. Some of them are. And macroeconomic figures will never reflect in our lives. So, what check that exchange rate? Oh, my God, after this program, let's just do a simple survey in markets. Yanko Kwabinya, Yanko Medina, Yanko Nico Bissamo say, $1 na from effect all my life. So, why should you go be sure? Because nipa no turn in toast market no odi dollar na yede obi a no turn enchene obi a turn nkruma no onfa na nya hwe enti no obetro na go gina the whole Ghana na be kasa say inflation aba from foreign exchange aba from and into the end of the day no Ghana economy na atoto year then that you are not being good to the people of Ghana. If senuma ko ye na say economy no eso kama that you no bisa won say e ba ne say na Jusak echo strike. If bibia to ye bibia every human condition bia echo ya Jusak echo strike. Bisa Crossack almost call strike. Ye wo tewu kura so call sa. Fusak also call strike.
Into almost strike no almost region here.
Almost strike this almost working condition ko ye. Say working condition ko ya that it tells you say on money more thing. Amaya ye very say president a wo so aba wo no matutu kwan mu bibia ye kama adbanfo o market you aba ya wo se nyuma mu nye din ma den nti wo mo 10% pe that mean na me bisa o ya tumu sen abra wo se wo ba ya kono me ni nyo enya no ye tumu more than 30%, but wo ba ye no wo se o wo no matutu kwan mu ama amanfo wo de call 10% to now wo nka ho hwe that economy ekoyi no bisa won say enipa dodo sen ena omo bae omo I employ into any office in this country nipa wa krombo say omo fa no to the extent say endam no ka say front page your friend is saying daily is it daily gist, yes omo bae omo yi over 280,000 no ma yi mo fu ayimo. So 2,080 employees. That is not bizarre. Say,
that is not also true.
That's it. We won't tell you teacher for Okumadi. A teacher for a pound of free. So, among coffee and cotton say, and compare a mouth from you. And this is by one some upon teacher for
2025.
Oh, by a pound was among coffee.
I'm not aware of that information.
Hey, that's it.
Yes,
and the one tier, no, auntie, yeah, permit a workers free central bank.
In fact, Omupamu workers.
The
workers Omupamu, their official report is out. And the official report says that there have been people Yasaki Omu every office. So want me and go through due process. I think it should be 500 and something. If I hold about 1,554.
That's it. Brofuno Kai or the Brofuno shall convisu say due process. Omo buy, Omo say, Nkrofoa Ghana for youth. MPP government I recruit them into education service, even go health service. Who buy what promo nyina free abai mu.
There was no dismissal.
That's it. There
was no dismissal.
Service. There you more.
No, there was no.
No, that's your pounds of coffee. Young pounds of coffee. That's who are you telling me say? Anything by your pound for teacher for
health service. Health service.
I'm a teacher for help. I can say help from Ghana. My car teachers, my car health, my car other field. I can even central bank. Maybe what? Ya pam amount for free these offices. Over 2,000 in the palm when you saw coffee. Now, on my economy a year. Now, say, won't me and farm for a drama. Then, my business won't say, the what kind of economy is that? That's it. You see, it's quite sad. Say, a year, a boy NDC for share a more position when it comes to our agri sector. In the agri sector, that's it. Yeah, almost say a boy akesiye say Ghana front to abamom. To the extent that how kaya that they were moving from village to village, advising, convincing their friends say, "Koko farmers want to abamom because MPP government wi omo say omo to aba e de ma omo as they will definitely buy cocoa bag 6,000 Ghana cedis. That was what they told Ghanaians. Omo buy ye no dachi ya take cocoa boso up to 2,500. And I was expecting say enka so na no do enka president cop parliament. Nothing ko opa cocoa kwa actual because is it a crime? And now boni be no ma yes say so mo yakwa for. Is it a crime said to serve a country by venturing into a cocoa farming? Now, what the cocoa price is so? Abedru 2,500. Now, okay, and then no more say I na mobile no na cow your friend say cocoa sector honum and intina then they have to pay the and then the what price market has massa kasa so and frema kasa tintin so entoponko. What buy the admission sa be ye adwuma o kasa now so wo check out that you buy ko na e car endis for na buragu honom no na e chen kroi ya buy ye almost 20 billion e car na e wo honom endis for e burugu honom o buy ye also about 30 billion into usu now what obeja 20 billion na ye about 30 billion what about 30 billion then o pa chere say one e boro ka kese enti dache de can say the president be kan ye na nka the kisa decision na nka economy be crash na den masa yempe sa kasa no e say omo find way to solve it that you do know say this cocoa crisis yen only 4 billion pe na be solve that issue na say aban went me and solve that issue with this particular solution we be shift all the blame to your friend saying the cocoa farmer ye mbu o man sa that ade ba kwa na nka me pese metie ewo eye sona no eye 24-hour economy that you ha say eye onkofo opposition almost say Ghana for to aba edema when they come to power the best thing that they go to do is say every sector of the economy will be on 3 shifts and you know say Ghana for to aba that means say nyuma bebu Ghana and I've said this several times and countless times that tells you say 24-hour economy na eto Ghana for etrim no senka ebaso it tells you say automatically the government sector employees no ebe increase by triple but at the end of the day that me no ka say 24-hour economy ya twa me do that no that me so that me so I'm fancy hey galam say on ba maka wasam galam say pa go for we e ka say that we should kind of bring state of emergency na if solve issue no ba amon kan wo hwe but then me ya na twa me sunu mu nkofo data Ghana for my to abama mo say omo dey stress free events policy eba amale University of Ghana students or university students across the country say we have hundreds now bar all that they need say over top provisions because the government is going to pay your school fees for you that's it may come to say this kind of policy on the buy it's more of they are just replacing it with what we call students loan.
Okay.
Do you know the reason why?
No, that's it.
That's so just a minute.
One second.
The issue is say, so check a student loan. What start school? A honum night children, wakwaji loan. And go for saying ka oh banner, the money is ready for you. But you come to school, you have to come and pay your school fees. You'll be there and sanaba. So there's not difference between that one and then also with student loan.
That's it.
That sometimes no. Me mobile say you get a highly educated like I mean rational people normal jam down kind of politics. I get sad because me brother or a learned colleague.
But I can't
onye eyi kitwa wako school pa enye school bia so say hell ne so what you say no bet na hana o make some a political discussion ya me re ho man because I beg you what about man for uncle school say be esa dachi about inflation exchange rate o see affect market women in other terms or patch say in the inflation hence an alka yet your man we mu na omo to nyama mu left right center back that Toyota Vitz car my practical example Toyota Vitz 2016 na 20,000 e bi kra 18,000 obenya dia na ne bo was require 23,000 that in their 8 years omo fi so na Toyota Vitz 120,000 Toyota Vitz home use 120,000 omo fi so na Toyota Vitz 120,000 what resulted to that any exchange rate inflation it will be na ha na se to two lies na okasa omo ntumi hu adwane a MPP for omudi what me be dia kohwin e radio so because adia prices ni na wo from ye jamo a resilient economy a B economy minus B economy na mabeje nyama troka pasa atete economy na pansana yet na say ka about governance amutumi bi mu ano ekasa inflation may be a modify ye jai inflation ma mo 15% mun ko wi etie 54 and am about 23.7 and then inflation is not just a single digit above for man and that okay inflation or say no do you understand inflation onim say ye ba no nam krom dia politics say even say his excellency president Mahama Bakra anyama bo emba from da wanka mo kan but nyankopon pe boni nyankopon nye lefty wama NDC penifo nimdie mo dia manage economy no ma economy no ende it's not say bibia is just stable but enyama bo attitude so say be high sense promotion esi Ghana yatete to say who exchange rate very solid and positive inflation very solid and positive na dachi you can inflation na dem pe say me no eti ase ne say it talks about the consistency of increase in the prices of goods and services pressure eba economy ne so na kakra ye to nyama mu left right center back eno na ye ka under mo administration utumi koto angwa bako dachi udi ko fie ba ya udi buy ya o buy ya so beto foforo within 2 hours na price no ya 250%. Now you know the results of that.
Okay, come on.
And the credit make a no. Because of exchange rate no na atin sema within 1 minute 2 minutes in a day dollar it me 2-3 times under your administration utumi ko $1 anapa ewia be kono na atu me 1 cedis and be ko na asaso atu 1 cedi 50 pesos yet your man mu na mu bu amambo trukan na ende o ka kire say the macroeconomic indicators no any good benefit say o ma manage na you ma me kire mo ma market women be bre elusu o mo capital under your administration yankojo na ko bisa mo market woman na as at 2016 the capital CD equivalent the capital ebia 3 million Ghana cedis no 3.8 million Ghana cedis which would be $1 million and continue the crack be 440 feet containers no as at 2024 mufi abemu na the capital no convertible onya $250,000 obiara na capital 2016 $1 million Ghana ha mambo trukanti no market women no sky na order craft 4 feet container as at 2024 on to mean craft half of 20 feet container 40 feet container amambo trukansa no now tna ka kire say economy no ni microeconomic indicators no and having effect on market women my yefa calculator into so practical analysis that yefa say it takes $100,000 to import 1 container of oil and stackies and sardine $100,000 2016 Now say $100,000 2016 year 380,000. 380,000 Ghana cedis. $100,000 no. 380,000 Ghana cedis in 2016. And even 2017, you hand it over mamu. $100,000. 380,000. Jedinina we be in the shop, auto and one mono. Or the sask $100,000 no, and or the cry nyamano. It's Sani get no. 380,000 and no odi giga. By 2024, and not 2023, not because of inflation, ni exchange rate you know. On to me and crassa nyamanu into your person or find nyama or convert it onya $100,000 onya 1.7 million 170,000 onya 1.7 million that is wogu nejuma wogu jumeni wogu market woman nejuma bojo for no wogu bojuma because don't wanna na say business market woman no okofa nyama ne ba no dia maboja for no say monton 3 days time 1 week time na mo betua because of the way $1 no esi dwaneti on same boat ni economic indicators na enyewe no see how the nyama ne ba person dey shade them because oni ade be che na ato price no into no more hold it na and also I have the effect on the average Ghanaian also called local consuming because over koto ade na nka 5 cedis no because of eyina say no economy na say no auto times 10 50 cedi because business woman no person also protecting the interest auto ama when then no ochina eno ni nyama besa e ma na akoyede ekoko diga na okwana mo se dollar no ye 18 cedis na ode fahin into no bia e make speculation e dey running the business it's no sure prices no echo haywire under the MPP and there all these indicators are stable. My brother, he just being a hypocrite, not wanting to admit to the reality say it has a trickle down effect. Once or no oti hey obetimi are testing that me say madam fu bia many ko university first degree time papa ja kokofu na omoton bia ne brother dia wo m share bia e 1 ton ne brother ne share 1 ton na ne brother no eco school Connecticut America abontenso and akufuado o say 1 ton sika no onya almost 50,000 but because of exchange rate ni inflation ni that a porous way of handle economy no or sending scan money brother onya a little above $2,000 little above to say 2,050 2,100 and $2,500 $2,000 $1 ton $2,000 because of bank charges and a dollar maybe an enam that 2025 this same gentleman osi Roger jamo aban okoso yes adia MPP egu miwa ni bakoye MPP delegate osi Roger the way mo bu mo aban no so mo koso bu ni say ya MPP ai dey egu ewie na dia eman ko kan sa ni say osi 2025 oto kokoo no obunya omoto kokoo no 1 ton no onya a little below 40,000 around 36,000 something but all year you know all sending scan man and brother and that you man here and brother nya $3,000 $3,000 that mean ono kasa 50 minutes
hey
man do 50 minutes
man kasa 15 minutes bro
Mr. 25
kasa mi sama
25 kasa 50 minutes
and I work as a man
wakasa more than
10 minutes
10 minutes
yes Mr. No
master wakasa 15 minutes
make sure time
wakasa 15 minutes as I mention
please wait yeah into dia claims are all make every cocoa for everybody for a mono except na ha say as an educated rational human being e catch say ye kwaje bosia 4 billion if am be check
me maka bo sansen
what's it for a problem?
Me say,
4 billion.
find a solution and bring 4
Master,
billion.
you mentioned find a solution.
Did
Find a
I
solution.
talk about
Find a solution and bring 4 billion. Where are you going to
Master,
get 4 billion from?
Master, quote
Master,
me
do the
well.
honorable
No, quote me
thing. Do the
well.
honorable thing.
Quote me well.
Do the honorable thing.
Quote me well.
Master,
Me say-
you're a fine gentleman.
Me say, find money and solve it.
Right.
But me can't go jibu say.
Right.
Gentlemen,
Right.
man, we are when you time.
Sir, find money. Find 4 billion. Find it from where?
Don't you have a
Wait.
comment?
When you were talking, I was
Oh,
quiet.
okay. So I thought you were
And
asking.
before money
I thought you were
emotions.
asking.
Put me control my emotions. Put me control my emotions.
Yeah, so
I say find money from where? You cost 4 billion.
money we have as a basic.
From where? Even what check? One can be an educated philosopher. No, when him say issue no, and you say yeah, Tieska once. This is something that it has to do with demand and supply. It's the more years in economy, all the time we have 4 billion. We are paying important, we jeopardize on our future. Sakra, repent, for the kingdom of the country is at hand. What I said, sir, MPP, a kunene mindset thinking no, jai sacrifice and wow. Abai any cocoa for nakasa. Dachi yeti has a cocoa prices. E wo Cote d'Ivoire ni Togo. Wo dia air cost. MPP before I am mobile say. Omo aye mobile like amembo na ma MPP party no. Emu aye hata egu poto. Inti no so mo bibi kan. Omonka now let me touch on the 24 hour. Now odi be he
3 minutes.
Abochi. Hey, my friend Abochi, forgive me. That's it. 24-hour economy. Ya pass it bill no into act. President Ide assent. Now, ubejia to mu say before the call parliament now some of the agencies are started operating 24-hour economy. Shipyard, Gapoha, and other DBLA. Omuni na a started 24-hour. Na no as a piloting. Na bill na aba into full force no. Ubejia to say a ban on labor and remuneration laws govern. Na working conditions for someone that will work during the day vary from working conditions from someone that will work during the night. He would attest to that fact. And a ban on employment asem and a remuneration. One friend here no one careful a better court. It's no for government to protect the industry and also protect the citizenry. There was the need to develop a framework and give it a legal grounding so that obia interest will be protected. Now a win-win for all. And I am ma yede efa embremu and making sure say establish. That is 24-hour. It has come to stay. You will see it rolled out across the various industries.
Okay.
Private sectors are omodi omu bedim no. O kind bill na a policy na. Amaya ti asese aban ema incentives to private individuals are. On person omu here 24-hour. It is opened. As a matter of fact,
Okay.
MPP4 have nothing to write
No,
home
that's
about.
5 minutes. 5 minutes very fair.
Dachin. Mama nti we mfiri ho.
Yeah, 2 minutes so that Mr. Kasa 2.
You see? What's
I'm
that?
on 5 minutes now.
Onim. Dachin. I am so shocked. Any simple analogy or yeah. Say na for be no go school now. Na nua bi wa bruche otikoko a. Dachin. The reality is and that me no ka say. MPP apenso. Say na obiti koko 100 bucks a. Oton a no onya 110,000 Ghana cedis. This is 3.1 billion. 100 bucks. And that me no ka say. So nipa no at the same 100 bucks.
Oh, yeah, full analogy na no why.
Yeah, time. Yeah, time America.
Yes.
Na me sorry.
Into-
But that also I make analogy. Ne dey na me use one analogy na.
Okay.
What I say? Anything no.
When you use one
Sasikan.
analogy.
What dey na me use me answer one analogy.
An analogy it comes also with
So
the
maybe
value.
that change be real. So at that money Sasikan no. And na MP Pennsylvania. And that me no ka say. Se nipa turn the same amount of
Convert you to
maybe anya botre. Se nipa no eye yi turn 100 bucks then you see say the person will get 250,000 Ghana cedis.
Yes.
No ma bisa wo say we ebetena ha edwa no chebe say obi a enne ono eton koko ema under NDC government is benefiting more than those in the MPP. They no bisa say what kind of logic is this? Now second, that me dollars. Say o check here. That say o check and there ameno kasa ya.
Yes.
No bisa wo say ende ameno kasa me ka say if you guys wanted to solve the problem Kogo farmers na eye den e face ya who answer the buy was see yen ko sika no ho no look at this but I tell you pa me I wrote it down but don't worry so ka say yen sika no ho no ma you see we need 4 billion to have solved that particular issue. Do you know what people are on Kogo farmers or Ghana say
4 billion or mon fan why
perfect. The question is you can say end this phone ni mambo I imagine say be MP phone ye omo and you say ye omo it's because they don't know how to manage the economy. Omo buy revenue losses come out my account 8 billion. And to be sound says kasa can omo nya
losses from where
amount raise even revenue na akoye anything that deposit no gap na revenue gap na omo create ye no say come to me fill this gap alone crampa dachi may come to say
and as a country you believe
you half keke and that solves our problem.
And as a country you believe say to me GG revenue nti enfan says on come to me GG revenue kra be 8% kra kan one and that taxpayers money no yen fair no enfan enkoto kuku no na enkoton wa ma say dua so on the cheaper cost
no dachi you see mama ka say me chiro so o share statement or my argument on ya say ye forward sales so I just say about 90% of cocoa toy initially and it is as for sales from here no it tells you say they sold it at that current price about cocoa price in number around $77,000 but at the end of the day no omo to you see cocoa no your quite fast so eto cocoa so what your open season around September October there about no what cocoa na go no and January February March we check all the trend statistics I tell say within this period in as well then but more ton at this current price later on some ko ton na bisa say are you going to pay the cocoa farmers no anything
statement na
very obvious number
omo ka say ye di kan ato dada they were going to pay 3,600 but for omo babeto omo nche as at the time of cocoa prices in the tree no they were going to buy it at 2,500
dache omo to cocoa no at 6,000 events 100 no na o say nkomo koton cocoa no oh amasaja so but essence says some people their personal interest in no omo twentwen so wa twent say price ne be dey be kosoro and some makoton but sabi you can never determine the price in the world market and you know omo ankasa omo ayi na dey and this is so
let me even agree with you sir
yes that is clear
the undecisiveness
it is a cocoa ya enka at the end of the day come be
yes but the emphasis say cocoa board cry and to me take the proper decision
yes
and yakwa go do some pempe so yi and afa cocoa prices no abafom now if they are supposed to buy the beans from the farmers as we are being told now say or see a beans no or farmers no because I've seen farmers so say beans no go mumra meto na mumma esika with 2,500 if the NPC,
how many farmers na e can sir sit beton 2,500 free
no, I'm saying that say beans no go abai so beton 2,500 so the farmer has no choice than to sell it at 2,500 and you are saying say abai and ton on fine quantity bremu kura 3,100
exactly
but I'm asking the question say and they abai cotton 3,100 crowd edwedini no wa and as a cocoa farmer no wa if the government is taking this to the market to go and sell how much is it going to sell
and anything that make a say you see abai no a multi-dimensional way na find a solution to it one and I'm just be say here as a government you have to step in and solve the problem and one of the issues we say senka and I'm tell the gap sika cab ebo e woni nyina e 4 billion as a government you have to look for money and bring it and solve the problem so and I'm tell say from revenue
revenue as in the
from your revenue.
and to me
From your revenue.
Sika.
We know how we raise revenue in each country. So what I say. And it's no. And I'm trying to say, the entire amount to me, I say, as we are speaking, revenue come amount to me, I'm feeling revenue gap. I'm critical. I'm at this country. 8 billion. And it's a common as Scana. That's in common to me at the feeling when. But that's I think say or last topic out of the mind.
Oh, that's
just 1 minute. That's so that that's so.
Now with issue now. Oh yeah.
Second topic.
Oh that's it. With the analysis. Oh, we see MB before suffer from what your friend economic psychological debilitation.
See yourself.
Economic psychological debilitation. And it's in America, sir. How can a rational human being think, say, I was say, oh, keep quiet. Learn to be quiet.
That's big man.
Learn to be quiet.
I will never.
Wait. He has never said, say.
What's about Jessica? Who got Jessica? Okay. How can
wait. Hold it. I asked him how he found Uncle Jessica, and he says that you should go and look for the money in your revenue, and he has stated say there are revenue gaps. You make an estimation, say you take X amount, you report say within your revenue gap and want to me and meet your revenue target, meaning that if you met your revenue target, you could have used part of that target to be able to solve that issue. That is what
that's it. Granted without admitting. Me say, for instance, enya busia krana, that's it. What did you taxpayers' money no? Or no, everyone say I did taxpayers' money ni na obiya share tax. Na ye dia be soso ato koko. Koko a ye ton wo amansan dwaso e bia 4,000 dollars no. Na the taxpayers' money no. Ye dia be soso e dia ton be 6,000 7,000 dollars equivalent. E o Ghana. Na akoton no 4,000. Ono a rational thinking human being or be boss Abraham. No, oh yeah, no. If you are see MPP before and from almost back almost down in they are suffering from psychological debilitation. I'm not joking about this because you cannot rationally say what is sika so bibi so they say we dey ni who turn tomatoes say ojom who turn tomatoes we ojom and now him say tomatoes bucket no who turn 200 cedis now what got tomatoes 500 cedis. Now I'm turn to 200 cedis. Are they be almost thinking for reverse. More problem. As a matter of fact, more problem. But one thing I'm realizing is say, see, I'm cocoa cratchy for no, per se, omudi cocoa cratchy for agri India grow. Cocoa cratchy for no, omunim a bit more lecturers. Bisano, the lecture about cocoa farm. What's here? The lecture about cocoa farm. Me boanka. Me see, are you telling me, sir, University of Ghana, who lecture me lecture, hey, who lecture, who kind of pray, me see, no crack can, a boss says, do so about Kukono. Me see, no cracker, a boy before says, Sebi, do so about Akukono. Now I'm in Chame, me commodie so. Cocoa for the bray enimdi, nimdia. Omu. Bebre na teachers minim cocoa farmers omo teachers minim cocoa farmers a ebi mu won ma meni omo tena class ebi kra na me de ne de example no inti no dachi omo nim de ekoso wo international market prices no eso ti sisi akrampo no nim say below 4,000 na ye busy on e de calculation inti day in day out ade a eso eti de ye kan ye time say ye beche mu miensa na e di mienu ama cocoa ekuafo no and still we stand by that. And even apparently we are paying more than the prices on the international market. Sisiano, share your neighboring countries because they be a omoye mfato ho. Prices net is saying.
Don't come and trap your
1,000, my brother. Do the honorable thing. You're a fine guy. I told you. See, we don't go boss and go free.
First man in 2 minutes. All right.
Now, what to do your neighboring countries now? Who say Ghana is doing well? Yes, we understand, say, economic situation. Even though prices are falling on the international market, we are doing our best to make sure, say, farmer no value for what they have given. Aside that, no, let's not forget say economic conditions no are warranty their purchasing power. The amount of money and almost spending on their livelihood as compared to then, no, a change. Now they have a stronger purchasing power. Just like you can say, you were not to do it, then times no. This is no first time in Ghana's history, Ghana prices hiding above form. Now, my member one typical example, and sana ye kusi. Kennedy akopre e Japan. And one on one no more sem na make upa we akɔhwɛ internet so. Or say, tama omu bua membo na omu o complaining no mo say ono na odi party na eba form. Na ono no wo sika ewo banker no all train their contract bi. Na as at that time na exchange rate no per dollar terms 6 cedis. Na almost $40 million equivalent. That's 240 million Ghana cedis. $40 million. Na 240 million Ghana cedis. Our bank. Now all train their contract. Within some short time contract no ready. Now okoko first no they are crying yamano. Convert here na nisika na 15 point something million. 15 million. Nisika depreciate. Enti no obi get $40 million. O mismanagement amanaka 50 million. But one of them no know all can almost no go party no. Now this is a practical a year. Yeni na ye de toto ho a clear say omam bofo adwuma na MPP for ebeye to the extent say omo de ebe kan say nisika depreciate from 40 million wey anyway na many manu AC no oh maza many manu AC no almost say penifo kasa bi say obom if odebi upon training official mu ebe ka kire wo say dan chemewu a yenji na chinie it no say ken ese omubu amambo troka nokre no kre ye koma yan do so masa me kasa ade wona ko mo
anytime every country will face national crisis no a very important now the
government intervention should be policies
masa what can say ebi say come say hey have I go that me say control mama
ebia omoma subsidy cocoa buying you are subsidizing for the purchase of cocoa, an amount that is more than half the percentage. As a matter of fact, go to me, David.
Mami, and see her